Hey there, this is Jexy with the Systems Alliance, and in this video we're going to go ahead and go over the disastrous launch of the game Atlas, and apparently it's just a reskin of the game ARK Survival Evolved. So to start off, ARK Survival Evolved, it's been out for a few years now, but it keeps on growing. I mean, over 9 million players. It's definitely a game that is not maybe the most polished game, definitely has a lot of issues with that, but it has some cool elements. I mean, yeah, it's a survival game, but also you can like train dinosaurs. Like you can do all the stuff that you can't do in other survival games, so it's kind of unique. Its reception is a bit mixed, and that includes publications as well as fans, so hasn't been the best, hasn't been the worst, but it's been an interesting game, and people have high hopes for anything that studio might do in the future. So then Graveshot Games, a sister studio to Studio Wildcard, announced that they were making their own game, Atlas. It's going to be like Ark, it's going to be a survival game, but it's going to be pirate-based, so you're going to be in ships and everything. So of course a lot of people were immediately drawing comparisons to maybe Sea of Thieves, is it going to be a game like that? That'd be awesome, because that kind of disappointed. It was all right, but we can do better. So hey, maybe these guys can do better. But Atlas has had trouble pretty much ever since the start. I mean, if you look at the original trailer, it said the game was supposed to launch on December 13th. So okay, nothing wrong with that. But just 2 days before that, the studio then announced that the game is actually going to be delayed another week to December 19th because things just weren't ready yet. So already it's one thing to delay a game. So for instance, I'm pretty sure Mass Effect 2 was delayed, and that was delayed, I believe it was supposed to come out originally during the holiday season, ended up coming out in like January, February, or something like that. Someone can look it up on Google and tell me, but it was originally supposed to come out earlier. They announced well in advance, many, many months in advance, hey, we're going to delay the game. Everyone's like, cool, you take your time because we know you're going to make it great. And they did. In this case, when you delay something 2 days before the start, that doesn't look good. Like you didn't know that was going to happen before. It just bodes not well. But hey, a little bit of a delay to get the game that you want. Okay, that shouldn't be a huge problem. Just one delay. So then there's actually a countdown. There's this countdown that is going on and people are tuning in, and at the end of the countdown, that's when the game's going to be released. Well, everyone's watching. Over 200,000 people are watching this countdown, waiting for it, something to happen. So much to their dismay, they find out once it reaches 0, nothing happened. Wait a minute, where's the game? And so an hour later, they put a YouTube video up, another trailer for the game, and all it says is the date below in 2 more days. Then you're looking at December 21st. So wait a minute, what was the countdown for? And they knew obviously that they weren't going to have anything. So why not cancel the countdown? Like what is the point? What are you hyping up that you're not delivering? Because now you're not looking so good. In fact, you're looking pretty bad right now. Is there even a game? What is going on here? So here's their response. Winds have not been favorable to reaching our destination of an Atlas launch onto Steam today, but now our sails are unfurled and the winds are strong. Atlas will finally go live on Steam this Friday, December 21st, opening up Freeport's entry points to all aspiring Buccaneers as they begin their journey outwards to the wider world. On a tweet, they said, yep, it's launching the 21st of December 2018. When we have a precise time window, we'll let you know. Sorry for the wait, guys. We know you're excited to get in. We're just as happy to have you play ASAP. We appreciate your patience throughout. Thank you. And at this point, I gotta say, if you have a set date that you're launching and you've already changed it a couple times and you don't know what time in the day you're going to be launching it, you don't have your game ready. Like, it's clear. You guys are a complete mess behind the scenes. You have no idea what's going on. And if you actually needed time, you would just say, hey, we're delaying it a month. We just need another month. And then it'll be ready at least a week beforehand. And then you could just tweak little small tweaks, polish stuff. But clearly, they don't even know what's going on at this point. They're struggling. But the PR is even worse because they're not letting the team actually catch up. They're like, well, maybe another day. And then the countdown goes down and then there's nothing. You're delaying a game after it's supposed to come out. What is that? Just give yourself more time. So then they said, as we work our way towards launch, we'll be sending out staggered invites to content creators via Reverb Games, which will allow us to monitor the effects on our server nodes. They will be playing on a special branch which won't carry over to launch. Therefore, their progress will be wiped. You can sign up for an invite here. The invites will continue to go out over the night and tomorrow as we get closer to launch. And when we're satisfied and assuming all our other ducks are in order, will be officially releasing the title on the Steam Early Access. So wait a minute, you're only just now having possible content creators test your game the day before launch? That doesn't seem good. That seems like, we haven't tested this game yet, and we're not sure if it's going to be ready. If all our other ducks are in a row. It sounds terrible. You guys are a company, you're releasing a game, it's supposed to have millions of players, you can't even do it right. Like, there's a difference between having a botched launch, like a Star Wars Battlefront 2, or in a different way, like a Mass Effect Andromeda, or just a complete disaster like a Fallout 76. Actually, this probably isn't as bad as Fallout 76, but still, it released when they said it was going to release. This is just kind of weird at this point. So then, of course, the next day rolls around when it's supposed to release again, and there's this. Pathfinders, we expect early streaming of Atlas to start this evening at approximately 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Following that, the game will be ready for full early access launch tomorrow by noon. We'll keep you updated should there be any changes. Thank you for your patience and support. So now it's the next day? What? Guys, get it together. But of course, they didn't, and this isn't the end. Come the next day when everyone's supposed to be playing already, there's this. We're still working on a build. We will let you know when we have something more concrete. We think it will take at least 5 hours. Check back in the morning for another update. We're still working on a build. Shouldn't the builds be done? What? I don't even know. I don't even have any words. This is beyond weird at this point. Like, guys, just delay the game a month. What are you doing? You're killing yourselves here. So then they kept pushing things back, and it kept taking just a long time for people to get their early access. It was just a mess. So then this came. Pathfinders, our official test servers, are now undergoing maintenance. Atlas is currently being pushed through to the Steam store as an early access title, and it should be purchasable by 12:15 p.m. It takes a little bit of time to get through the system. Winky face. Downloads can begin shortly. So almost immediately after you opened it up, you were already shutting it down and your servers needed maintenance, and then you're trying to do a little winky face, be a little funny with the consumer there? Nah, you lost that ability because no one trusts anything you're doing at this point. So once people could finally access the game, as you can see here, the reviews pretty much suck. And why is that? Well, the game, not so great, but also people can't even access the servers. The servers were down. Nothing was really working. You would think this is the game launch. We could talk about Anthem, the first day of a demo, but that's a demo. This is the actual game. A demo going down and you pretty much know that they're going to fix it. I mean, hopefully it's not going to end up like a Halo Master Chief Collection, but this is the actual game that's out and people can't play it. I mean, kind of a mess, but here's the worst part. So obviously they've been having a ton of problems with Atlas, trying to get it going. It looks like they've been putting the finishing touches on stuff literally at the last minute. And guess what? You got caught. Take a look at this. That's right, this is the ARK menu in the Atlas game, and it was found using a controller and scrolling down to an invisible button below exit on the main screen. And so, yeah, all I did was hide the button. You click that, there's ARK. It's the same game. It's literally the same game. It's right in there. They just like slapped it right over. I didn't know, one, if you're going to do that, why even leave the buttons in? Even if they're invisible, I mean, someone clicking around could accidentally find it, and that's exactly what happened. But who does that? Like, how badly is this game made? How much of a rush were they in? I mean, just don't do that. So then as you're taking a look at the menu, you see under the downloadable content, you see Ocean. Well, what is Ocean? Click on it. Guess what it brings you to? The Atlas menu. So what do you think that means? Well, it means that Atlas was just DLC for Ark in the first place. It was never meant to be a full game. That's why it's the same game. They must have made this already, and they're just trying to polish it up right before release. I mean, they spent no time on this game. And it's so obvious because they left all the evidence for everyone to find. So obviously, as a bunch of people are saying, wait a minute, I just paid early access for a $30 DLC? And a DLC of a game that wasn't too great to begin with? There's cash grabs, and then there's like bait and switches. And this seems to be more closing in on that bait and switch line, because then you have your expectation versus reality, and the reality kind of sucks. Check out what this one user had to say. Open a hidden ARK menu in the main menu screen with a controller. Go down to the menu until the cursor goes off the screen and press A. Clicked on Ocean under the list of ARK DLCs. Clicked on Start in Single Player. Game booted in the single player mode and threw me into the character creator screen. This game was originally a DLC planned for ARK, but because all the hardcore ARK players bought the season pass, and that means they won't get money. So they released this piece of trash to take away as much money from you as possible with little to no effort. Please stay away from this game. Don't support the developers. And they're right. Think about it. This was supposed to be included within the season pass of ARK Survival Evolved. You were supposed to get this already, and they didn't. In fact, they didn't just remove it. They took that DLC, took it out, charged you $30 for it, and tried to skin it up like it was a different game, even though it's literally the exact same game. It's the exact same game. There is no mechanic that is different. It is all the same. So yeah, you can't blame players for being upset with this because no one should support this. And here's what other players are saying. Do not buy this game in its current state. It's a reskin of ARK that is somehow worse than ARK. If you look in the game's install folder, there are folders literally called Scorched Earth and Aberration, just reusing assets from ARK. And on top of that, if you have a controller plugged in, scroll down to the bottom of the options on the main menu. If you scroll down one past that, there's another invisible menu option. Hit A or X or whatever on your controller, and it opens up the ARK menu. It even shows options to choose which ARK DLC you want to play, edit, map options, etc. For a game that, according to the developers, has a chance to be the greatest of all time, this is utter, well, you know what. It is literally a reskinned ARK that is less functional. Look back at ARK's development. Launched early access for $30, then a paid $20 DLC was released in early access already. You shouldn't have DLC that soon. And then the price later went up to $60 and another paid DLC came out. Be smart. Expect the same from Atlas. So now, according to Variety, they had this to say about the current state of the game. Atlas launched in early access on Steam on December 22nd after a number of delays. It's reportedly had a tough time since launch thanks to severe server lag and other issues. Developers Studio Wildcard and Grape Shop Games admitted that the game was off to a stormy start and that the initial influx of players were larger than anticipated. They say they're now heavily prioritizing server connection and capacity resolutions, along with server and client-side performance improvements. So why is Atlas in the news again? Well, apparently, funny enough, tanks, planes, and whales were falling from the sky. Why? Because someone got a hold of one of the admin's login information and they were just making all this crazy stuff happen. So this game just can't seem to get it right. It's actually surprising. It definitely doesn't seem worth your money, but it just seems like a complete mess. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about Atlas. Do you think it's just a reskin of ARK? Or even worse, not just a reskin, DLC that was supposed to be included within a season pass of ARK and then shipped separately but in somehow an even worse state, but not even polished because it's still clearly in the menus as just extra content for ARK? Let me know your thoughts on all of this. I mean, personally, I cannot believe that it was released in this state, and it's got to be pretty embarrassing for the people who worked on it, assuming anyone actually did work on it, or at least it should be embarrassing for the people who made the decision to do this. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you next time.